What's up, hackers? Welcome to Saturday Hacker Day. Take 2. I have no idea what's going to happen. My entire rig might burst into flames. Graham! Wow! Welcome. This is what I get for messing up earlier. I get celebrities stopping by. If you don't know Graham Helton, go follow Graham on Twitter. An amazing researcher. Fantastic work. Another NIM malware developer. Nice to see so many new viewers. Mind dropping a link to his Twitter. Yeah, well, Graham could probably do that as well, but let me see if I can look it up real quick. Graham Hilton 3. He, him. You got lucky, Prax. Anubis, good to see ya. So the plan is to actually do the thing that I'm supposed to do, right? Which is Webapp hacking. Oh, DEF CON group for New Jersey. What's up, Dirty Jers? As a Philadelphian, I have a complicated relationship with New Jersey. Mostly loving, though. Actually, full disclosure, I lived in New Jersey for 2 years. Not something that I love admitting as a Pennsylvanian, but it's true. Did not change residency, so it was cool to pay taxes to 2 states. All right, so we're going to do some web app hacking. We're going to follow the same methodology that we do in PWST, the Practical Web App Security and Testing course. Oh, pausing the PWST course, jump on in here and learn some things live. Oh, thank you so much for the kind words. I'm glad that you're liking PWST. Yeah, so we're going to do the same sort of things that we do in the course here live with a Try Hack Me room. Portswigger would have been a good idea. We might do some of those later, GoPro. I was just taking a look at the newer web-based Try Hack Me stuff, and I wanted to see if we could take a look at this Hamlet room. Although if we get through this, yeah, we'll do some Portswigger. It's a really good idea. Beginner friendly. The way that I do stuff, I'll try to make it as beginner friendly as everything. You check out the 610 group. Rehosting a tweet of this. DC610. I know that Bia is in there. I live in LA now, but my heart remains in Philadelphia. But awesome. Thank you so much for the rehost. Really appreciate it. So, right, we're going to do this Hamlet. As a former English teacher and an English major, I can't say no to a Bard-themed Try Hack Me room. Cali has way too many groups. Yeah, except weirdly not like a lot of them in LA. And we don't have a B-Sides. In fact, what I learned is that B-Sides Los Angeles kind of dissolved, and in its place we got a new con called ShellCon, which is cool. But it runs every other year, and it's not part of the larger kind of like B-Sides or DEF CON collective. And I don't know. I've spoken at ShellCon. And I like the organizers, but I kind of do wish that we had a little bit more going on here in the Southland. Right, okay, so let's start this machine and see what's up. Also, I am updating Rust and Ferox Buster, which is the tool, our directory enumerator. I'll do that in another Tmux window. And let me make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see for everybody. And the reason I'm doing that, Ferox Buster is my tool of choice for directory enumeration. And we're going to use Ferox Buster for a couple of reasons. One, it's stupid fast. Two, it has a lot of really nice ergonomic things. In fact, some new ones that Ben Risher, who is the developer, just added that are so nice, I have to show them to you. They're so cool. In fact, I wish that they had been there when I did PWST. I definitely would have called them out. Things like auto-sending things to a proxy based on status code, as well as auto-safeties. Yeah, I'm rolling the dice a little bit, although I can generally expect this to happen in a reasonable amount of time. So we'll take a look at this and see how it goes. Yeah, Graham, Tmux with a custom Tmux plugin manager layout and things like that. It's all themed. Oh, dope. I actually already have the latest version of Ferox Buster. Nice. Good looking out past me. Oh, GoPro. I wish that I had the discipline to use i3. Feroz asks, how did you go from English major to web app pen testing and all other cool stuff in computers? So I will tell you, it went a little like this. I graduated from college as an English major and quickly discovered that I did not want to be like a novelist. And I didn't really want to... I knew I wanted to do something of service. There was like a brief flirtation with the military. We won't talk about that. But what I ended up doing for my first job out of college was teaching computers to pre-kindergartners through 8th graders at a small school outside of Philly. And I had always been self-taught in computers. My dad always had computers all around the house, and so I learned a bunch growing up, and I kind of always was like that kid who could fix the teacher's computer, you know? And I always built my own PC, so I had like the basics. But with getting thrown into that job, I had to learn things like actual switch networking, and Windows administration, all that sort of stuff, and I picked it up on the fly while I was teaching kids how to do basic programming and how to use software for meaningful things. And then I had this moment. This was 2008, 2009. So I had this moment, and we were using an application. I remember the application. We were using Microsoft's Worldwide Telescope, and it still exists. You can go find it. Imagine it's like Google Earth, but for the sky, right? So it'll show you constellation groupings. It'll show you, it has catalogs of astronomical photos, things like that. Oh, hey, Smash. And I remember this was right when I believe it was the Curiosity lander had just arrived on Mars, and we were getting panoramic images back from Curiosity. And I watched my lab of 7th graders become ensorcelled by seeing this happen, that they were viewing images from another world, and they were transported by it. And it was at that moment that I realized, like, I internalized the power of computing technology. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to share my passion for technology and show people what's possible and expand their world. And that's why I got into education technology specifically. And so I was in education for a long time, working to build out those sorts of programs. Oh, hey, Foot. Thank you so much for the subs. Good to see you. But so to answer the story, right? So I was in education for a long, long time. And then I caught the InfoSec bug in 2018 and sort of pivoted toward that. But I can't stop teaching. It's genetic. It may, in fact, be genetic. My mom is a teacher, too. And so now here we are. Hey, Killer. All right. So let's see. We've got Hamlet up and running. And first things first, we're going to do a little enumeration with another Rust-based tool, because we don't know what's up on it. We don't know that it's port 80 or port 443. We don't have any scoping for this. So we're going to just do a quick port scan on that with a little Rust scan. And we'll fire it off there. And SSA. And we'll do output normal to nmap dot. Ooh, actually, before we do that, let's go into the Hamlet directory. Sudo rust scan. And then, so Rust scan, yes, I use a lot of Rust tools because I'm a Rust dork, or Rustation if you want to be formal about it. No, I like the language and I like to support the tooling ecosystem around it. But what Rust scan does is it does a very fast TCP hit on every port. And then once it knows, like, okay, here are the ports that I can hit, it will pass that subset of ports over to nmap. And so you're only nmapping the stuff that you already know is up. Do you know why it's so fast? Claims to scan all 65535 at the same time. Complains about the number of files open at a time on Linux. Well, okay, I know the answer to both those questions, Smash. So first of all, change your batch size if that's a problem for you. Drop it down to 400. It's still crazy fast. The other thing you need to do if you're getting that particular error in Linux is you need to change your ulimit. Because what your ulimit does is it limits how many files you can have open at any one time. And because Linux is Linux, guess what? TCP sockets, they're files. So when you have RustScan doing concurrent scanning on multiple TCP ports at a time, yeah, it's going to open a bunch more ports than the default maximum. So you can change the ulimit. You can change the ulimit and solve that problem. All right, RustScan, off we go. (22, 21, 80, 501). All right. There's no way. This is a rabbit hole faux show. This is a medium box, I think, so I don't think they're going to give us FTP right off the bat. But in case they do, we'll give it a shot. 501's weird. Ah, here we go. 8,000. That's a little bit more what I would expect to see from a web box. Okay. Same switches as with Nmap. That's right, Anubis. So basically, if you look closely, there's this dash, right? And so what's going to happen, this ends the command options to RustScan. Everything after that is being passed directly onto Nmap. So it's Nmap flags after that. And by the way, PWST students, you already have Cargo installed. What does the batch thing do? The batch size for port scanning. So it literally controls, Smith, it controls the number of open sockets at any given time. So if you let it max out, right, it says if you do 65535, it will do every port at the same time. Don't do that. By the way, don't do that even if your OS will let you, because your NIC can't really handle it. RustScan and FeroxBuster are more than happy to do things that your NIC can't handle. At which point, your NIC is going to throttle your packets, and you actually go slower than you would if you had lowered the initial threshold. Oh, Graham, thank you so much, friend. I really appreciate that. I tell everyone, look, you can get a Webapp pen testing and take a course. Well, I tell everybody who's interested in NIM malware to check out your materials too, so. Mutual Appreciation Society. If you have multiple NICs, can you go faster, or is it not worth the squeeze? I mean, you could do some NIC bonding, like sorcery, but I don't see why you would bother, honestly. How do you learn stuff like InfoSec or Life in General? So many learned mind mapping. Okay, I'm going to try to figure out a way to answer that question for us. Basically, you're asking, like, how do you live? Which, I do live, like, kind of a disciplined life, I would say, in that I specifically make time to study and learn. And to train. I am not religious, but if I follow something, it would be the principles that I learned in Kung Fu. Hard work takes, or great skill takes hard work. Well, the way that I live is how I learn. So I'm answering the question the same way. I read a lot of books. I do take notes. But also, it's a lot of time spent practicing. It's a lot of time spent practicing. Just like here. And I'll also say this. For me, teaching is a way of learning. Because explaining things to others, all of our knowledge is based in language and based in story. all of our knowledge, when you try to explain it to somebody else, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's our minds are narrative. They just are. And so you may think you understand something, but when you try to explain it to someone else and put it in that narrative structure, your brain will make connections that you didn't know were there, and in so doing, strengthen your understanding of a topic. So you don't have to specifically, like, literally teach somebody else, although it helps, because then you get the feedback from them whether they're getting it or not. You can write it down. You can do video recordings. I could be speaking to nobody right now and still get some of the same payoff from it because I'm forcing my ideas into structured language, proving to myself and others that I understand what I think I understand. Okay. Let's see. We've got FTP, anonymous login allowed, password policy.md, and UFW status. All right. Well, we'll check those out. SSH. There is port 80, a Hamlet annotation project. Okay. And Alienworks, good to see ya. What was on 8000? Nagios. Oh, no, it was on 501. All right, so we have a couple of targets here. Let's take a look first at that FTP server. Okay, anonymous user at domain.com. All right, what do we got here? Password policy.md. New password should be lowercase, between 12 and 14 characters long. Okay? Lowercase, between 12 and 14 characters long. I don't know why that's the policy, but it is. Between 12 and 14 characters long. What that means, I mean, we could, in theory, web anno. SOC 2 approved. I mean, it's long. Not too many combinations. Isn't it 26 to the 14th combinations if it's only lowercase ASCII? Yeah, I was like, that's pretty large. Thank you, Sar, for confirming my math on that one. No, that's large, but what we could do is we could take RockU and grep it down. To only passwords that match, and that might improve our brute forcing if we need to get there. What was that UFW.status? Fascinating. Okay, so 501 allow anywhere, 8080 allow anywhere. We didn't see 8080 up. But is it there? We also see some IP6s. Yeah, a couple of these ports we didn't see, notably 8080. Even though it says that it's allow anywhere. So we'll give that a shot as well. So PWST students, what I'm doing right now is I'm using Netcat to send a raw HTTP request just because it's quick and dirty. Oh, look at that. We got a response. So that tells us that there is also a server open on 8080. Okay. So we'll add 8080 to our list of targets as well. That's really interesting. Okay, so let's go visit some of these. Let's go get these going in a pen test window. I've got my Brave pen test profile, just like we do in the course. I'll close out all of these. And clear those out. All right. We're zapping. All right, let's start with 80. The Hamlet Annotation Project. Why didn't Ruscan pick it up then? It could have been that it... Oh, because maybe it was doing a ping test first. And if we had done -pn, it would have done a straight TCP and hit it. That may have been why. Although I thought Ruscan just does a TCP hit first. It doesn't bother with ping. So it's a good question. Unless it did and I just misread it. No, it didn't. It's interesting. So, it's a good question. It's possible the server is configured in a certain way to prevent that from happening. We don't know. All right, so we've got... Ooh, good God. Is that all from here? Oh, no, that was from the Wappalizer upgrade. There we go. Okay. So, we have 80, which we're going to include in a new context. Now let's go to port 8000. Totally different thing, right? They've just hosted the entirety of Hamlet from Project Gutenberg on here. Well, that rules. And what are we looking at here? First of all, Wappalizer tells us this is straight up Apache. Yeah, it's just an iframe going to /repository. Don't tempt me, Prax. Choice ratio. Okay, so like Husky and I have talked a little bit about doing like table reads just for fun. Theater nerds that we are. This is a very weird script. There we go. Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things, that it were better my mother had not borne me. All right. Better not. Or that's going to be literally all we do tonight. /repository project. So look at this, though. One wonders. Okay. Looks like directory indexing is not going on here, which is fine, except let's go to the final version of this. Yeah. And like, if we were fuzzing this, we would fuzz all these. And we can, by the way, here's a cool zap trick you should know. I think we covered this in the course, but just in case we don't, let's add 8000 to a new context. Just in case we don't, check this out. So if we take one of our, let's do the 200, right? And let's go to our source like so. If we wanted to, what we might do with this is highlight this 0 and fuzz it. Oh yeah, we definitely do this in the course. And we use a payload, add numbers from 1 to 100, right? And that is super handy for fuzzing. To be and not to be as 13 characters. That's galaxy brained. But yeah, so what you can do with the fuzzer is just fire that off, right? And it'll create those payloads for you very easily. Nothing doing there, though. Doesn't look like. So we have multiple enumeration destinations, and we still have one other site to take a look at just as a first pass. Interesting. So 8080 is not playing ball here. Even though we got... Let's curl it. Yeah, nothing. Let's curl V. $8080 is... No, it's $8080. Yeah, I got it too. I'm trying Juan's thing. Okay, good. Okay, but what are we looking at here? This is an actual application with a login and everything. What's the tool that generates a word list from the webpage? Cool, I think is what you're talking about. CEWL? Yeah. I'm not feeding it Hamlet. All right, what are we looking at here? We're looking at Apache Wicket. Java, gross. Little jQuery as a treat. And we... Oh, check this out. We have a thing. Is this going to be... a cut unique count? Yeah, but Prax... I mean, you're not wrong, although... if it's a phrase, it's not going to catch those phrases. Yeah. I'm seeing this down here, though. This is kind of a tell. Web Anno 367. So the first thing that we would do, and this is something we don't cover in PWST because we're talking about the basics of web app stuff, but this is something we would do in the advanced version. And this is also something that you should learn if you're looking at OSCP or anything else like that. The second that they give you a version of an application, the instinct that you want to develop is there a known vulnerability for that version of an application? So we have a lot of ways we can look that up. We can straight up, you know, Google that version plus vulnerability, and that pays off more than you would expect. But also, if you're using Kali, you have a built-in tool called Searchsploit, which has a local version of ExploitDB. Idris, thank you so much for the compliment on my terminal. I actually have instructions on how to make it look this way around somewhere, but if you go to my Ali Vagrant repository, my tmux config is there, so you can go get it. Oh God, GoPro. Well, actually, I appreciate it, not only because that'll be fun, thank you GoPro, but also this will be a good stress test on the audio system. See if we've actually sorted our problems out. All right, song it is. Get droid cam up. What instrument will we be playing? I will be playing the piano. I do have another option, but I think I don't want to do that on an evening stream. We'll save. I have another surprise, but I'll save it for another time. But yeah, okay. Let's see. So that's down. Piano is up. Right. Sound check. Let's see. What do we need to do tonight? I think we need to do an Irish band. Ooh, yeah. Do a little Bell X1. The reverb is intentional, Prax. Said, I wanna shine in the eye of Orion, but I drove my soul through the black hole. She said, what a wonderful way to wake me. She said, you weren't so nice last night. You're such an asshole when you're drunk. He said, at least I'm okay in the mornings. Said the three wise men came a long, long way, following that pinhole in the sky. Yeah, that one right there. She said, I don't believe in any old Jesus. If there was a God, why is my ass the perfect height for kicking? He said, well, I'll shine for you. I'll burn for you. Well, I'll shine for you. That's what I'll do. He said they're like headlights in the rearview mirror, closer than they seem. From this gutter we're still staring at the stars. He said, would you go away last night? All you did was curse those stars. He said they sang to you of hope. He said the sun gives life and it takes it away. Like all the greats, it'll burn out someday. She said, I don't mind, I don't want to get bored, don't want to end up beached on the shore. I want to be that star. Let me be that star, and I'll shine for you. And I'll burn for you. Yeah, I'll shine for you. That's what I'll do. Oh, fine. We ever want to get this thing done? I'll tell you what. We'll play a second song. Let me start running Ferox Buster on one of these. At least you did it. While I have the thing up, I might as well do a second one. All right, so let's get Ferox Buster running. So we're gonna run Ferox Buster. We're gonna run it against. Let's start on port 80, just to see what we can get. And I'm gonna run it. So this is good. The limit is 15 threads concurrent 15. Status code is 200, 301, 302, 403. I'm gonna leave off 403, and we're gonna run it quiet. But the other thing I'm gonna do is, oh, I don't need the size filter. The other thing I'm going to do, though, is do burp replay. And with that, I can get rid of -K. With burp replay, what that will do is anything that it finds, it will send into my burp. This is the kind of shorthand. You can do it longhand. Yeah, so the switches. So -U is the URL, -W is the word list, L is the limit of concurrent directories to be scanning, and the current scans going at any one time, and the threads is the number of threads going at any one time. So this is kind of our two-way throttle. This doesn't mean 15 scans are happening max. It means that these 15 threads and then 15 directories could be scanning at any one time, but more than one request can be happening at the same time. So just be aware of that. And these are the numbers I found that work against Try Hack Me boxes without knocking them over. Because you can definitely knock them over with Ferox Buster. And then Q is quiet because I don't want to flood my terminal with information that I don't care about. And then burp replay is going to send anything that it finds based on these status codes, 200, 301, and 302. It's going to send to Zap. Because burp is just a shorthand for localhost 8080. And we're off to the races. Anything that it finds will go in there, and we'll see that in the proxy. You can see this get that just happened right here. You can see the user agent is Ferox Buster. All right, now let's do GoPro's second song. I'm going to keep it rolling with Irish bands. I think. Unless I can come up with a better idea. Okay. Chat, should we do another Irish song, or should we do a midnight cover? Just pick. All right. A helicopter just went by, so I think we have to do Los Angeles. And we'll try to do it. You know, I've got this whole digital piano here, and I never use any of the cool features of it. We'll try it. There we go. Fire on the beach, face to the sky. The stars
dance around like gods in disguise. The gold silhouette, you take off your clothes, and my heart feels the weight of all I don't know. Memories and mountaintops, drunk on Sunset Boulevard, with the city of angels singing on. Maybe this is just a dream, and maybe we're still asleep, but I'll miss you when I'm gone. Flickers of the canyon fire, its hands raised like a gospel choir. If we live forever, let us live forever tonight. Helicopters against the moonlight, our holy mother of the midnight. If we live forever, let us live forever tonight. Tomorrow we'll go back to our lives. The sand in our skin, the sun in our eyes. But I know the truth, and I've seen the signs. I've seen the golden gods in disguise. Memories and mountaintops, drunk on Sunset Boulevard, with the city of angels singing on. Maybe this is just a dream, and maybe we are still asleep, but I'll miss you when I'm gone. Flickers of the canyon fire, its hands raised like a gospel choir. If we live forever, let us live forever tonight. Helicopters against the moonlight, our holy mother of the midnight. If we live forever, let us live forever tonight. Flickers of the canyon fire, its hands raised like a gospel choir. If we live forever, let us live forever tonight. Helicopters against the moonlight, our holy mother of the midnight. If we live forever, let us live forever tonight.
Okay. My phone's on fire. That droid cam. I gotta get a second webcam up in here. Sorry, just making sure that my food is here. It's a GoPro move. All right. So, we find anything? Oh, we did. Let's see. Actually, no, it doesn't look like we did, other than robots.txt. Nothing on 80, so we'll try... let's try 8080, because obviously there's something there. And it does a wildcard check to see if it's any so this is kind of cool. It does a wildcard check to see if like regular stuff gets redirected to the homepage, and if it does, it's gonna filter all that out, which is helpful, right? Because like we don't care about this. Somebody was talking about like Ferox Buster creating a lot of noise in Zap if you send it over to the proxy, and that's one of the ways in which you can prevent that from happening, or Durbuster does. But Ferox Buster has this check for wildcards, so it prevents that from happening. Okay. What else do we have? Obviously, best practices. Let's take a look at the source. Yeah. See if there's anything interesting in here. Assets, images, welcome.html. It's funny that it's just an HTML. Oh, right. We were going to look at WebAnno, right? The name of the application, to see WebAnno 3.6.7. So we will run over here a search exploit for WebAnno. What you got for me? Nothing. All right, this might be a rabbit hole, but it's worth checking out anyway. Just to see. Aha! Okay, so web SVN, but not WebAnno. Interesting. I started hydrating 8080 based on word list from 8000. Was the word list Hamlet? Like, did you just take words from Hamlet? Yeah. That seems excessive. WebAnno 3.6.7. We'll check the release. So what we'll do is we'll check the release, right? You gotta love open source software, because if they're like fixed remote code execution, then you know. And even if they're cute about it in the change notes, let's just go to GitHub. The reason I want to just go to GitHub, I don't want to mess with anything else, is because I want the tag. I want the release. 3.6.7. So this is just good. This is good research. Releases. Why Ferox Buster? Why not my favorite thing? Why do you use your favorite thing instead of my favorite thing? No, they're all good, Anubis. They're all fine. The reason I use Ferox Buster, other than I'm a Rustation and I like supporting Rust tools, is that it's stupid fast. It's fast and it's featureful. Those are the reasons that I like it. It has a lot of nice creature comforts, and at this point I'm used to it, so it's what's in my toolchain. I have nothing against Durbuster or GoBuster. I found Ferox Buster to be better for my purposes, but all tools are fine. If it does the job for you, that's cool. Yeah, WFuzz, FFUF, like, use what you want to use. Heck, you know, use the fuzzer, use the brute forcer inside of Zap if you want. Boy, do I have some good news for you, B Thorax. We have a Ferris emoji. Okay, we want to go to 3.6.7 and hopefully see, like, well, we fixed this SQL injection problem. Notable changes. Fixed bug that annotations get deleted when a concurrent access is detected. Improved compatibility with Firefox. Let's go to 2 for the full change list. Let's go. Okay. Doesn't look like it's going to be one of those, which is actually great news for me. It's not like a OSCP kind of thing where you like find the exploit and run it. That's good news for me. Fave icon, I don't care about that. Wow, the scanning's over for 8080. Huh. Well, let's see. Okay, right. Back to basics. We did get robots.txt off of port 80. Does it have anything for us? Oh, it does indeed. So that's helpful. Have I gotten a chance to try Kaido? I signed up for the beta, but I haven't been invited yet. Kaido's the Rust proxy. I really am interested to see how that goes. Okay, it looks like we got our first flag. Or, sorry, flag 1. Maybe. Nah. I don't have the clout to get invited. The fave icon that was actually a backup zip file of the Weber's contest. Someone did an oopsie and a zip committed. That's wild. There used to be some fave icon edge cases that were kind of weird. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Apparently, you're supposed to find Michael's password first. Well, I know what my password is. They can't know it. So this is just an elaborate phishing exercise for me specifically. Boy, that's is that narcissistic or solipsistic? But it does tell us that the username then would be Michael, maybe, right? So we didn't find anything with big. Now I should use a different list at this point. If all of these enumerations, because I use big because it's like reasonably big, but not as big as it can be. I think most of these try hack me rooms, they're keyed off of the 2.3 dash medium list. So we'll try that on. 8080 seems like the most useful of them. Now it tells us that the username is... Well, that's going. What else we got? GoPro, did you check out port 501? Like, why would there be Nagios here if it's only one server? Can you prove everyone isn't an NPC, though? Nope, can't. Can't prove a negative. Good old speedguide.net. Never really helpful, that page, even though it's always the first result. Yeah, this is my thing. Nagios uses SNMP. What is this? Right? If you don't know, Nagios is a system monitoring tool. This is some bullshit. I don't know about this. Let's go check it out. God, no. You can do other things with it. But yeah, I think this is weird, and so we're going to check out port 501. Yeah! Cute. What do you call a person who builds stronger things than a stonemason, a shipbuilder, or a carpenter does? Pen tester. Haha, good one. Makes versus there those ills we have, then fly to others that we know not of. Thus cons... Harada at AOL. These are just samples from the text. The threat hunter. Are you calling me out by name? Or you're saying, put in the name, Michael? I'm pretty sure, so I could be wrong. But let's find out. I have a feeling that this is the... Do you bite your thumb at me, good sir? I do not. Fun story about that, though. So, somewhere in my teaching career, I ended up as an English teacher for kids who were either coming out of or going into juvenile detention. We were kind of their last stop. And I was their English teacher. It was kind of crazy because in like one classroom, I had 7th graders all the way up to 12th graders. So I had to like come up with some sort of curriculum that worked for everybody. Totally wild. Anyway, I was teaching Romeo and Juliet. And first of all, the only way to do that I found was you have to use the Leo DiCaprio, Claire Danes, and John Leguizamo movie, Romeo plus Juliet. It's awesome and perfect for that particular crew. And as we were doing that, when I explained that in Elizabethan England, biting your thumb was the equivalent of giving somebody the finger, for the next week and a half, all of these like really hard kids were just biting their thumb at everybody. Creating a curriculum for 7th to 12th grade sounds impossible. It was tricky. And, well, the good bad news was that the 12th graders were not at a 12th grade reading level, so I did have some play there. Used a lot of graphic novels. Like, a lot of graphic novels. I needed to get them reading. Also, graphic novels slap. I really liked grading a book report on The Killing Joke. But okay, so the thing that I want to test here, I'm going to do a little Python for this. I think that all of these samples are the same size. But to prove it, I'm going to fire up Python and just get Pwn Tools going here real quick. And make a connection. 80. No, 501. Okay. Pon.receive 4096. Yeah, pen tester. Oh, crap. On.sendLine. I. There we go. Res. Okay. 67 bytes. Weird number, but fine. Send another line. Get it back. 56 bytes. Okay, so not the same every time. $77. So maybe a random range. But I think it is serious. Come on. And then pen tester. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think this is just garbage. I don't think anything useful is happening here. This is the kind of thing that they might have hidden a flag in, though, right? Forget it. I don't like that CTF crap. Let's focus on this web anno thing. Any discoveries here? Not really. Although, we do know Wicket. Repository project. So we do know that this... Like, what is this thing for? We looked it up, but we didn't actually read anything about it. What is this thing for? Web Anno is a general-purpose web-based annotation tool for a wide range of linguistic annotations. Okay. So presumably, they're annotating this guy. We don't see any annotations in this, though. This is just plain text, right? And this was... what? This was iframed to source/hamlet.txt. Repository document source hamlet.txt. I mean, I wonder if it's worth... just enumerating this whole thing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fuzz for other text files. So I'm going to enumerate that directory with Feroxbuster again. And, well, that wasn't helpful. And this is on port 8000, right? And we're going to do extension txt. So that'll add the txt extension. See if it finds anything else in there. I am also... What's this thing written in? Java. Okay. Oh, hey, Husky. Good to see you, bud. No. I really want... I need GitHub search to honor special characters. Because what I want to do... Repository document. Oh, how was the fair? Okay, is the iframe done anywhere? Got him. Oh, hell with this. It's open source. Let's just clone it. Like, why am I bothering? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grep through the source here for anything that looks like slash source, right? Because I'm looking for that slash. I want to see if it constructs that location somewhere. So I'm going to do grep IRL EIRL, and we'll do slash source. Actually, I won't need the regular expression for that. Slash source. Webano. God, I love grep. I love this specific thing. It's so cool. So grep IRL is I is case insensitive. 3.6.11 has a log4j vuln fix. Boo. Boo. That better not be what I'm doing. All right, let's put another / on the end of that. See if it's the same. Much better. So L is to just list the file, which is a great first pass. So now that I have 3 things, I'll take that off. And now I'll let it print it out. TSV. Project service.java. Logs. Oh, thanks, Beathrex. Okay, so this was exactly what I was looking for. Like a string concatenation. Project ID.log. Right, so how is this? This goes like repository projects, or no, goes repository project and then the project ID dot log. So that should be here, like project 0 or 0.log. Or is it literally project? Yeah, it is project dash. Okay, so. Oops. Boo. Now that may not be public. That might be something else. / annotation. Oh, snap. All right, so we found something. We found annotation. And the way that the file names are laid out, it's like username. Dot ser dot annotated. Is that what we're looking at? All right. All right, see you, Anubis. I don't know, GoPro. I think you might have been on the right track, because we're not seeing anything else that looks remotely useful here. But I'm going to do this my way rather than with cool, because I'm lame like that. The first thing we're going to do is go grab the file. So the way I'm going to do is I'm using interactive Python for this. And so Webapp pen testers, yeah, Python helps. It really does. And I use it. You don't have to do things this way, right? I'm going to basically do this in lieu of using cool, right? Because in cool, it would go scan this and send it to a text file. Well, I'm going to get the same thing, but I'm going to get it using requests. So I'm going to import requests, and I'm also going to import RE, because I'm going to do some regular expression stuff. And so I'm going to do r equals requests.get and go get this. Okay. If we look at r.text, or let's do r. Status code is a 200. Phenomenal. Okay, so here's the deal. R.text is going to be plain text, and we know that because it's a .txt file, but we also can know that a couple of different ways. Let's go back to our basics with HTTP headers, right? So remember that when we make a request for a resource, we're going to get the response, and the response type is going to have a content type on here, telling us that it's text/HTML, which is kind of basic. That's the wrong one. Where's my Hamlet? Thank you. It was modified. It's super unhelpful. Here we go. So if we look at the in the browser, if we look at the dev tools, if we go to response, headers, response headers, Buckus. But that's kind of the point, right? There's no content type. Good to see you, Prax. Have a good night. But like, let's view the source then. It's plain text. So it's plain text. It's not HTML. And the point I'm trying to make with this is that because it's not HTML, we don't have to clean up anything. So what we can do is this r.text, it's gigantic, right? So I don't want to do that. So I want to make a list of words. So I have a lot of ways to filter this. We know that the words that I want are between 12 and 14 characters long, and I know that they're lowercase, which they're all going to be. So what we're going to do is get all of the words that are between 12 and 14. So the first thing we need to do is say words. Words. Is we're going to do r.text.split on spaces. So we're getting every w.lower to lower all the words for w in r.text.split. So there's a lot going on in this little line of Python, which, by the way, we will be covering in the upcoming Python for Defenders course. Hey, so I have some thank yous to say. Mr. Circuitbox, thank you so much for the follow. PC Sniper, Thorax, and OXGN1, thank you for the follows. And of course, Foot, thank you for the 14 months of subscription. Defcon 201, Anubis, thank you for those follows. Yes, new course. It is not done, although we're getting there for part 1. So what we're going to do with Python for Defenders is part 1 is going to be focused on an introduction to Python by way of Jupyter and IPython like this. And that is going to be free of charge on the Taggart Institute. But part 2, where we really dive deep into how to use Jupyter Notebooks to connect to APIs, to parse data, to do Defender work, right? To look at logs and parse things, really. That part ain't going to be free because it's a lot. And the idea is that you can take that. It's really designed for professionals. That second part is designed for professionals who are in a defensive context and want to institutionalize this inside of a team. It won't be bank breaking. It won't be bank breaking. It will be less than a TCM course. I can tell you that for sure. But that's going to take a little bit longer because it's intense. Every module has Jupyter Notebooks that have built-in labs that are self-evaluating, so you can run tests for your own code to see if they pass. And that's true for part 1 as well. So I'm building that out as quickly as I can. Yeah, it's going to be cool. But so this is a trick that we do in that course where this outside syntax, if you're not familiar, is what's called a list comprehension. So we're making an array or a list in Python speak. out of the expression that's inside of it. So W is this iterator variable that we're going to get out of our the text of our response. We're splitting it on spaces, so we're getting all the words. Okay. Which may or may not work. Because I know we have new lines on here. We may have to parse this for new lines first. Let's do this. We'll do lines equals actually we don't need this. So L.split or R.text.split. Let's split that on a new line. Let's look at the first line. Yeah. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do... Now that we know that works, what we're actually going to do is lines equals R L.strip for L in R.text.split. New line. So strip will take out those new lines at the end. So now we have straight up lines. Now what we'll do is words. Words equals. We'll do this with an actual for loop, and you'll see why in just a second. Then we're going to say for L in lines. We're going to say line words equals L.split on space. Now we're getting actual words. And then we'll say words plus equals line words. And because we can do concatenation of lists in Python, this will give us a big old list of words.
What do you mean? I can't watch you do this work. I mean, it could have been you in the coffin.
So let's just like look at words.
I don't.
29.
I can't go through that.
E-text.
Jay. It doesn't hurt me.
I don't care about the stars. They're not going to matter anyway because it's shorter than the line we care about.
Yeah, why not?
But we are going to have to worry about periods, things like that, right? So if we're doing this manually, but this is why cool is helpful, because cool will just do this. But if you want to do it manually, it can be helpful to get this, right? So we're in it to win it now. Let's dive in completely to that sunk cost. So we're gonna do it with this. We're gonna do we're gonna run a map. No, we're gonna do another list comprehension. So we're gonna do a list comprehension because they're faster than maps. We're gonna do w.replace commas with nothing. Replace periods with nothing. And let's say dot replace. And so what's cool about this is we can chain replaces. Semicolons with nothing. M dashes, I guess, because it's Shakespeare. Yes, hyphens, of course. All right. For W in words. All right, so that's been cleaned up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say word list equals. Now, we only want words that are between 12 and 14. Now, As always, that phrasing is a little bit funky. Does that mean between 12, like 12 and 14 inclusive? Between 12 and 14 may suggest only 13. I'm going to say let's go wide, so 12 to 14 inclusive. To do that, what we're going to do is we're going to first write a little lambda function. Len w is greater than or equal to 12, and len w is less than or equal to 14. And what we're going to do with that lambda function, oops, comma, words. What we're going to do with that lambda function is, let me just add some time. Yeah, it's a big word, but we learned that's what they are. So we're going to filter our word list. And that produces a filter object, and we actually want a list, so we're going to cast it into a list. Word list. Let's get the length of that. 155. That ain't so bad. Now, we also have to make sure all right, so we forgot a couple of pieces of punctuation. And some quotes, too, it looks like. That's interesting. Yep. Colons. And exclamation points. Yes, that is true. There are multiple repetitions here. Parens. Yeah, I saw it too. Good eye. Good eye, Sen. Who knows the fastest way to deduplicate a list in Python? Fastest way. Bar none. It's one of my favorite tricks, and I almost never get to talk about it. No, nothing has it. The answer is set. You cast it into a set. Sets are they have to be unique, each element, and so the casting will deduplicate for you. So if we say word list equals set, word list, $112. Okay. There's our word list. I don't know what that thing at the bottom is, but it doesn't, it doesn't matter. So that's our word list. And if we're doing a brute force here, well, you know what? That's what Zap is for. So we're going to do a bad one, right? Michael, test 1, 2, 3. Okay, login failed. Great. We have something to key off of. There's our post. And here's what we're going to fuzz. And let's see our response here. Does it say login failed? Anywhere in here? Yes, it does. Great. All right. So with that information, what we'll do is we'll take this and we will fuzz the password. Our payloads are going to come from that file. Go get it. Documents, THM, Hamlet, wordlist.txt. Cool. And then we're going to go to processors, add, nope, not processors. Message processors, add, tag creator. We're going to match on failed, call it failed. So we're going to look for anything that doesn't have the failed tag. On your way. Boo. That was a short list, too. Oh. So I'm stupid. This is where Michael came from. Canterbury, very cute. The username's not Michael, it's Ghost. Look at that. So we're gonna resend that with Ghost. And then fuzz this. Had a domain of webmano.hamlet.thm. Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, we're getting the site. Hostname enumeration wouldn't be a bad idea. It's giving me responses on this right now, so that's where I'm going to stay. I don't want to jump elsewhere just yet. Payloads. Especially because I don't have like a whole lot more time. But I do want to see if we can get somewhere with this. THM. Hamlet. First. Awesome. Okay. Message processors. Again, we're going to add this. I do wish that Zap had a way to like replay fuzzes with modifications. And in theory, they do, or it's coming, but I haven't been able to figure out where that is. Off we go. What? Unsanctified. Oh, come on. All right. That's something. They're flagging here for us? No. So let's see. Annotation. Now that we're in, and this thing is still just like straight up whatever, we can use... It's a couple things now. For our 8... Let's make a new one. So for our... For our 8080 site... Oh, the password is the flag. That's right. Unsanctified. That's right. There's a bunch of random flags in here. Okay, so now that we're in on this, a couple things to note. The first is that we can set up Zap to authenticate to this correctly. And the way that we do that is we go up to the context, we go to authentication, and go to form-based authentication. Point it to the right thing, which in this case was the login. And we send the username, set the username and password parameters correctly. And then we go to users, and we set the username Ghost. Flag 2 lives on port 501. I could not care less, unless it actually has to do with the web app. Miss me with that CTF nonsense. I am a professional web app pen tester. If it's not something that I would actually find during a professional web app, I'll let the CTF players have fun with it. Nobody's running those telnet services. So here, we've set up our user. And what that means is that Zap will now know how to authenticate to the system. Let's also just confirm we have an HTTP session on 8080. We do, because it's tracking JSession ID, right? That's a cookie that Zap knows to track whether you're authenticated or not. The reason I say we can do this is now that we do this, we can have Zap do the enumeration for us with authentication. So we choose Spider and we go select our user. The hell? I did that for 8,000, didn't I? That's wrong. Nope. Authentication, manual. I did that for the wrong site. Let's go fix that. Ghost. Authentication. Form-based authentication. 8080. Username. Password. Okay. Users. Ghost. Oh, right. Good pilot song. Hey, Leon. The findings so far, we have 3 virtual hosts going, one on port 80, one on port 8000, one port 8080. We have a username, and we have just successfully brute forced a password based on a word list coming from the text of the Danish tragedy of Hamlet. So now that I finally set this up correctly, we Spider. Yeah, there's Ghost. So we can then authenticate with this. Right, and this will go find stuff for us. There we go. No! No way! Please tell me that there's a Telerik vulnerability in this. That would legitimately make my night. I freaking hate Telerik. I fought with that thing so much. Does anybody else know about that thing? Although, usually that's an ASP issue. Telerik is a whole suite. Leon knows what it is. Telerik is a whole suite of .NET developer tools, but there's been this yeah, it's not uncommon because real developers at real places. Yeah, this is the guy. There are a couple of follow-ons, but 2019 18935 I think is the OG. Yeah, this thing is crazy. If you are ever testing an ASP application, just test for this. Just do it. Because so many people use the Telerik toolkit, more than you would imagine. And the bottom line on it is that there's a post that you can send, a properly formed post request that will straight up upload data. It'll give you a web shell like that. Yep, right here. It's a deserialization issue. Rather than submitting the usual expected telerik.web.ui async upload config type within route post data, an attacker can submit a file upload post request specifying the type as an RCE gadget instead, after using the blah, 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 and you have yourself the ability to upload whatever you want. Yeah, totally wild. Oh yeah, and this is the older one, the 2017 11317. You'll find this one as well. This is much older, but unrestricted file upload via weak encryption, because the key, yeah, hard-coded key in the upload handler was disclosed, and then that was it. Okay, so we have projects. Let's open this document, see what we're doing here. But take your time. Interesting. Now, what are we looking at here? We're looking at a Java application. So, but it is Apache. Or is it? It's light HTTP. So you gotta wonder, like, do we have a file upload vulnerability here? Okay, we have two other users. We have admin, of course. And we have Ophelia. And we apparently have full access to all of these people. And the whole thing is that this is designed for making annotations, right? So let's try logging in. We'll just make her password Ophelia, because get thee to a nunnery is too long. Okay, I'm just gonna log that in an incognito window for now. VN sanctified. Yeah, definitely show disabled users. Nada. Good catch. There we go. Okay, so definitely less privileged, but let's take a look. We have Hamlet, documents. And so yeah, what we want to see is people's annotations, right? Home. This is an annotation. God, this is cool. This is cool to me as, you know, a literature dork. What? What is this annotation? Don't forget that the... I'm sorry. Can we undisable this? Thank you. So what is this? Okay, what does it work for? Yeah, I'm hoping SSH. So let's see. $84.52. Whoa! Public key only. Interesting. No, I don't think it's root. Maybe FTP? Ah, come on. Oh! What you got for me? Yes, you were, Ophelia. Flag 3. But that doesn't get us any further. Okay. Back home and add in Ghost here. Like, it can't possibly be that easy, is it? No, because that's just like plain text. So the project ID, right? Look at these. This P0 document. Oh, wait. Hold on a second, because this is wrong. Document should be 1. Oh! No! It's... Really? Well, then. We're on our way. This is good. I'm glad that it stayed in web. That's fun for us. So what we'll do then is we're going to go just get our trusty pony shell. Pony. I thought you would need a special module to run the PHP. So here's why it's not. We're inside. Well, I mean, this is a server misconfiguration. Up front. Yeah, exactly. SAR is correct. The reason this is working is because Apache is running with the PHP processor module, right? And it doesn't look like it needs to because this web anno doesn't need it. You know what I mean? So we're going to go to projects and we're going to go to here, documents, choose files, pony.php, import. And so I believe it's now document 2 and the source is going to be pony.php. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. We're in a Docker container, which does kind of track with what we were seeing from this thing, right? So this guy, the web anno app, is running in the Docker container. So, okay. And then port 80, this thing is not. Or maybe it's running in a different Docker container. We don't really know. All right, so we're in a Docker container. That's fine. That's fine. There may be other things to find here. Hey, there was that project0.log. Project. Oh, so it would be like, I don't want to. Project0.log. I just want to see if it's there and accessible. Yeah, it is. So our research was helpful. All right. It's just data. Could that lead to log poisoning? It depends if we have LFI. This is... What is this? This is plain text. So probably not. Right? So listener, for log poisoning to happen, you need... Right. So Angel is saying, like, you need to have local file inclusion in a PHP page, basically. But the log poisoning itself... Exactly. It has to be rendered by PHP. This is just plain text. So this isn't going to, like, you can put as much PHP in this as you want, but if it's getting served up as plain text, it's not getting processed that way, so it's not going to execute anything. All right. So we're running as dub data. It kind of sucks. This is a perfectly stable web shell. I see no reason to, like, get a Metasploit, something or other going on here. I doubt very much that we're gonna... Linpiece is such a mess. Especially if you're just in a Docker container. I think we need to be a little bit more surgical. I mean, what's going to be in here is in the application, right? So what we're looking for, other than maybe being able to, like, do a forward enumeration, like a forward networking situation to the host, which is possible, maybe. But no, mainly what we're looking at here is something like if the application data is going to give us anything. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Creds in the database, HSQL. HSQL? The hell is that? This feels odd, right? This doesn't seem like that's everything that we should be seeing. I always go for the HTTP Apache config files at this point. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, nothing wild here. Let's see if she's making an arch report. I mean, Regular stuff. We're low privilege, so... Wait, what? Was there Engine X or just HPD? No, just HPD. Why does Cat run as root? Oh, yeah. Can I run anything as sudo? No sudo in Docker. Come on. That SSH key isn't going to be on here, Angel. That SSH key is on the host. We're in a Docker container. It ain't gonna be there. Even if we get root, we still, once we get root... Does the host share anything with the container? It... This is, not crackable, is my guess. Although, it's there, so... What is this? Yes, crypt. If I have to use John, I will. I just really would rather not. This is still open in Hashcat? All right. Well, we'll do the thing then. I have to... Dang it. Right. It's been a minute since I've done this. The what? The what? What format? I do not like John the Ripper. I've... Just format crypt? Alright. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Alright, with any luck, that'll crack, which will get us root, I guess, at which point we'll still need to pivot from here to the actual system, I think. Murder. Murder most foul. We might have to do a reverse shell for this one. Just because... Because I can't pass a password in plain text with SU, right? Yeah, I don't think you can. So, in order to deal with that, we'll set up a listener. And we're, let me just check the time here. I believe you can just send it with a pipe. I don't believe that is true. No. I don't believe that's correct. You can pass a password to sudo with the dash capital S, but su does not accept. I guess I'll try it. No. Does not work. It's not designed to take input like that. Even if we pass it like that, yeah, it breaks the Unix command line security model. So what we'll do, it's fine. What we'll do is we'll use a normal reverse shell, 10.13.7.20. I think that's still my IP address. You can try hack me. Yep. All right. Deadshot, no. That's not what we're doing. All right. We got root. Disappointing. Thanks, sir. No stable shell for us. Oh, hey. Murder Most Foul. I like that I'm pre-gaming their references. What was that? That was flag 5. Looks like we missed a side quest or something. What extension did you use to create a verse shell? Yeah, so this is not something we do in PWST, but it is cool, which is the Hack Tools extension. Hey, Deadshot, take the hint, bud. That's not what we're doing. You're welcome to hang out, but that's not what we're doing. So yeah, this Hack Tools extension, which you can find by, you can go to GitHub and find it, but you can also search for Hack Tools in the Chrome Web Store. And it's great. It has quick reverse shell stuff for PowerShell, DTY, PHP. Yeah. It's go-to. Absolutely. So this is another thing I use with Brave. So basically I have Brave Sync set up, right? So anytime I set up a new Kali box or anything like that, I just use Brave Sync and enter my sync code, and it adds... Oh, that's right, you did. You added the Z shell one. I put this, I use the same Brave profile and I sync it from all of my pen test boxes so that I never have to worry about extensions being missing. And my environment is exactly the same across the board. Okay, we're done, Deadshot. No. No, you were too kind, Sar. They had a warning. Oh, I should see you. I should show you all some of the stuff that I get after after the sale for PWST. I don't use Brave mobile, Leon. Actually, no, that's true. Not true. I do. But does tab syncing work? Yeah, it does. The one says, why did I choose Brave? I chose Brave because I wanted a Chromium-based browser that wasn't Chrome primarily because I like the dev tools. And then Brave also, yes, the included ad block is nice, although you actually should turn it off. Yeah, I have all the crypto stuff disabled because cryptocurrency is a planet-killing scam. I don't care about it, or I care actually a lot about it, and I'm quite against it. I think it should go away. But no, Brave makes a lot less noise outbound, right? It doesn't call home to as many things as even Firefox does, so it's less stuff that I have to filter out in my testing. That's why I use Brave primarily. So I have access to all my Chrome stuff, but I don't have to deal with Google's nonsense. I have used Vivaldi. I was using Vivaldi in its early days. For me, it's a little visually busy. I don't particularly enjoy the interface. Brave, on Linux at least, has the option to launch a Tor browser with Alt-Shift-N. Will open up a Tor, but you have to make sure that it's connected to a Tor node first. And this is handy in Windows as well. I mean, sorry, here's the thing. I want to be as ideologically, pure as possible, but it's just it's not possible, right? There's going to be people who make tools like, oh my God, Florian Roth is a perfect example. Like, I really respect Florian Roth's work on Sigma, but the dude's a climate change denier. Like, what do you do with that? Okay. So we've gotten root, we've gotten this flag, and we've been going for 2.5 hours. I don't know what we would do for the privilege escalation here. So I think we may have to leave it there. And at this point, also, we're kind of off the web stuff, which is what I wanted to demonstrate anyway. Hey, Mech2600 and Handmade Art, thank you for the follows. I have no idea what your comment means. Let me be explicit that this channel and this learning community is absolutely of the position that anthropogenic climate change is an existential threat to the human race, and that drastic change is necessary today in order to save anything that looks like civilization. And if you don't hold that position, there's the door. We will not tolerate anti-science positions. Yeah, so for the web app testers, this is kind of where you're done. Right. In fact, actually, before the priv ask, we would have been done. We could have established, hey, we can get code execution on the box, and then maybe the web server areas. If we could discover some misconfigurations there, that might be a value. After that, it's not a web test anymore, right? So that's kind of where the end of the report happens. So I think we're gonna call it there for tonight's surprise stream. I'm so glad that nothing died, and that gives me some confidence that maybe next weekend we can try again for backdoors and breaches at our regular time. That doesn't actually help. DEF CON movie night. Very cool. All right, so Let's see. I'm the only English that makes sense, timing-wise. Yeah. I'm gonna shout out the hack list, but of course, I am the only English streamer right now. I don't mind streaming anybody else, but there's nobody else that I know. So I'm gonna let you all enjoy your Saturday nights or Saturday mornings for the folks across the Atlantic or across the Pacific, wherever you are in the world. Have a great rest of your day or evening. Please be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking. We will see you next time.